All right, here's Mike T and Swagoo back with us. Marcus, are we seeing the beginning of the end for Russell Wilson in Seattle here?
Yeah, it's the end. It's time for it to be the end. And listen, this is not because it's been all bad. Obviously, we know Russ is a Super Bowl champion and went to another one. But we also know when things run their course. And obviously, you can tell that this situation has ran its course. I don't know if it's more about Pete Carroll and replacing him or Russell Wilson determining that I need to get out of here and get a fresh place to go with a fresh start. And that's what it looks like. Look, losing sometimes is going to highlight everything that's wrong with a place, everything. But sometimes that's just not the case. Sometimes you're just losing. Sometimes the teams are better. You're not executing at the level that you need to execute. But when you look at this football team and you think about all of the success that they've had with Russell Wilson, and we've talked about how well he's done as a quarterback in lifting this team and carrying them, even in times where we feel like the roster didn't really add up to what they needed it to be to make it back to a Super Bowl and get to where they needed to be. But the bottom line is, man, when you look at these post-game pressers and when you think about the things that have transpired over the time of the season, when you think about the offseason and then that fake, oh, me and Pete Carroll are cool after all of the talk about the trade partners and the potential places he would go, this has run its course. And sometimes in football, that's the case. The message needs to be changed. There needs to be a change of scenery. Russ may feel like he needs a new place with a new voice in his ear to go be more explosive and have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. It is over for Russell Wilson in Seattle if Pete Carroll is still a coach. Now, there's always that caveat that you make that change and it convinces Russ to stay. But right now, currently constructed, this won't be the place Russell Wilson to play, in my opinion.
Mike, Russell Wilson in 1 week will turn 33, still relatively young for most quarterbacks. If you're in the Seahawks front office, what do you do?
I'm going to move on from Coach Carroll, and I'm probably going to trade Russell Wilson, and here's why. Pete Carroll's had a great run, 115-70, but I really agree with a lot of what Swagoo said, that it's really kind of come to an end. They got a great general manager in John Schneider. I would allow him to go pick his new head coach, and then maximize the value of Russell Wilson. Seems like he may not be happy there. Just may be time for a fresh start. So go get a new head coach.
Yeah.
Load up on draft choices. Go draft a new quarterback and start a new era. But it is very apparent for a team that's missing their first-round pick next year and the year after in the Jamal Adams trade, that's probably time for a reset.
I get that. I hear you, Mike, but I'm thinking about Russell Wilson at his age. Now, if you don't think he's going to age well because of his size and he's somewhat dependent on also his foot speed, which could diminish with time, I get it. But he's 33. It's going to be so hard to find a quarterback nearly as good as him. What about, I mean, if he wants to go, he wants to go. But if you could talk him into staying and he has some input in the next coach, it's easier to switch out the staff and everything, trade the whole team if you have to, and keep Russell Wilson and still be good.
You know, Max, it's a very fair point. This really reminds me of Matt Stafford a year ago, who very elegantly goes in and says to the Ford family, hey, it's time for a change. Time for a change for you, time for a change for me. And look, it works out great. He goes with Sean McVay to the Rams. There's a new head coach, new GM in Detroit. They get multiple first-round picks for Matt Stafford, and they both move on. And I kind of feel, Swagoo, it's kind of a similar situation now in Seattle where great run, Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, it's time for a change.
All right, let's switch.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Marcus, go ahead. You have something you want to say?
Yeah, because Mike T makes a great point. You can sell to your fans that we tore it down and now we're about to rebuild this thing back up. And that's about the faith in the general manager. But you can't keep Russ there and get a new coach and get the same outcome, because at that point, you just in the abyss. So I like what Mike T is saying about go ahead, make the wholesale changes, Russ find him a new destination, and you sell to that fan base that we are going to trend in the right direction going forward.
Especially if Russ is not happy there.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.